Matt's up. He says, "Hey guys, I have the following question. I own a .com domain that I purchased 3 years ago for a marketing agency project, and then got postponed because I focused on other projects. Despite I would like to keep the name, the website has little work done SEO wise, and I've recently found a European agency with the same name and branding, but a .ie extension. The company seems already quite established and was created after I got the .com domain. Considering all these, I would like to contact them and offer my domain for sale. Any ideas or tips on how to approach them and propose an initial number? I know that the domain per se is not that valuable, but given this situation, I may squeeze some money of this. Thanks in advance." Yeah, Matt, the first money I ever made online was actually selling domains, and that's really what got me hooked. I was still learning SEO at the time, but I had saw some course that was a WSO, or I don't even think JVZoo was around at that time, but it was a course that I bought about domaining, like being a domainer, right? So learning how to squat domains and then contact people and sell them. And the first one I sold was uh, Austin Windows, or Windows Austin, or Houston Windows, or it was somewhere in Texas, one of the big cities, and it was basically a Windows for a company that sells Windows and replacement Windows, and it was just an exact match domain. And all I did was I put a HTML page up on the domain that was just a for sale page. So basically like a for sale sign with contact information. And I contacted window replacement window companies in that particular city. I just would go email them or use their contact form on their website and say, "Hey, I've got this domain that would work really well for," and by the way, on the for sale page, the HTML page, I put screenshots of the Google keyword planner that showed the exact match keyword, like Houston Windows or Windows Houston or whatever, and showed how many searches per month it got. And so I said, I kind of created like a little sales page for it that was just an HTML page, and then I would contact the companies in that city and say, "Look, you could, by just buying this domain and redirecting it to your existing domain, you could capitalize on some of this traffic that's showing." And it was like, I don't know if it was 400 and some searches per month. And so anyways, a few people would respond back and they'd say, "Well, how do we know you really own it?" And I would say, "Well, give me, I'll put your company name on the sales page and shoot you an email when it's ready, and you can go back and take a look at it." And then they would go look, and it would have their name at the bottom. And I would say, like, "Do you want this domain?" Whatever the company name was, question mark. And then they would reply back and say, "Okay." And so I ended up selling some domains that way. And I would buy them, for $10, register them for $10, and I'd turn around and sell them for anywhere between $150 to $250. And that, that wasn't much money, but it was pretty cool. And it's how I first started making money online. And I only did it for a couple months, and then I got started really doing lead generation and SEO stuff. So with that said, that's what I would do, is maybe contact them and let them know that you have have the domain, and that you want to offer it for sale. I don't know about you can come up with your own number. I get a lot of emails from people that have domains that are similar to something that I've recently registered, and they offer to sell it to me. And sometimes their numbers are like ridiculously high. Other times they're reasonable, but I never buy them anyways. But I guess it really depends on how big you think the company is and all that. I don't know how to value that. There's probably some sites out there that can give you some ballpark estimates as to what the value of a domain would be, especially if there's a brand out there that has some like brand equity. But I certainly think it's a strategy worth attempting anyways. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's totally going to depend on how badly this other company wants the domain, if they want it at all.
Right.
Because like you said, you get offered domains, you don't care. You don't really want it, so it's worth nothing to you. This is exactly that situation. How much is it worth to that company? Could be nothing, could be a couple of $100. It's not going to be thousands, because there's nothing on that website, right? He says it. There's really nothing there. So what drives the value of a website is whether it has traffic, what that traffic does on the website, right? Is it producing money? Now we're talking bigger numbers. But if it's just a .com with a company name, yeah, tell her, "Hey, look, I got this .com. It's your company name. You want it? Yeah. Well, what's it worth to you?" It's really that simple.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do. I mean, you could throw a number out, but if it's ridiculously high, they're gonna, or they think you're way off, then you'll probably lose it as a possibility. So you may be better off just asking them what's it worth to them. And if it's something that's, you know, ridiculously low for you, just disregard it. You know what I mean? However, that said, one of my clients, he's a roofer. He bought his domain. It's a great domain, and he bought it. He paid $20,000 for it because somebody else had it, and he wanted that name. So he bought it, and it's a very short, succinct name for roofers, and he really wanted it, so he paid $20K for it. So some people will spend a lot of money on a domain, and that was like, shit, that was 10 years ago that he bought that domain for 20 grand, believe it or not.